Many people, they want to quit the corporate world. Many men actually are quitting the corporate world because they just want their peace of mind. They want to be able to live their life in freedom away from this kind of sick society. And in this example, we've got someone who's quitting their tech job just for some more sanity because they're really fed up of the workplace environment. So let's listen to what he has to say.
Time also meant I could only meet my friends and family on weekends because for me it took too much effort to meet someone after a full work day. This is just from my perspective. Other people maybe can still meet up with other people. For me, it was too much mental effort. So I was basically living from weekend to weekend, and there's only so much you can squeeze into a single weekend. Also, you want to maybe relax from your full-time job and take a break. So you're not always mentally in a state where you want to meet other people. And what I realized is I couldn't imagine doing that for another 40 to 50 years before I can retire and having a fulfilled life. So the question in my head came up, how can I regain my time? And this thought was now living rent-free in my head. After a while, I decided to code in my free time. So every time I got back home, I worked on a project called...
So here we got here is something that is very important to notice about work. A lot of times on my channel and many people, we think about the finances in relation to work, that the job, the tax rate, the income, salary you have, the amount of time you might spend commuting there or the cost of the commute. But what's important is that work seems to drain all your time and energy except weekends. You can do a little bit of things like in the evenings or on the work days, but really you can't do much, right? When you come back from work, you've only got 1 to 2 hours. Maybe spend a little time watching Netflix, getting ready for the next work day, talking to your family members or friends. You can't really do much during the work day on the evenings. And the thing is, there's no point pursuing that life and having no meaning and pursuing 40 years as an employee just for the sake of a particular job title. Time is, in many cases, for many people, more of a motivator than money. So it's very important. If you're looking to motivate yourself to quit your 9 to 5, think about all the time you can gain from doing what you want to do by operating on your own schedule, which he managed to figure out by producing his own apps. He quit a tech job, started creating his own apps and selling those, and his own like software as a service to help people, and that ended up giving him a lot of free time to do his own thing. I advise you to be motivated by time. If you want to quit your job and you're not necessarily super money obsessed, think about all the time you'd gain. And also your side hustle will typically start with a hobby. In his hobby, in this case, was coding on the side, looking at building different apps, and that ended up developing into an app that he managed to build some income off so he could live a quiet life by himself.
Once the project was out, I got my very first customer. This was the moment for me when everything shifted. Someone out there had enough trust in me and my product to buy it. And since I'm living in Germany and the person who bought it was in the US, it happened while I was sleeping. This was the first moment when I understood the difference between working at a company and earning in exchange for my time, compared to create something of value on the internet and earn regardless of my time. After that, I made the decision to go from full-time employed to being part-time employed. So I could work on my projects and have more time to work on them, but also to have a safety net to pay for all the bills. For my own peace of mind, I set a goal. My projects had to cover at least 80% of my living expenses. And the dedication paid off. Slowly but surely, Resume and my other projects were growing, and more users came in. And knowing that other people out there could benefit from something I have created was so exciting and fulfilling, something that a paycheck could basically never provide.
So what's interesting here is the extent to which he was able to live life on his own terms, right? And we'll go through a bit of his travel trips in a moment. But what ends up happening is, once you end up separating the relationship between time and money, you really understand how much money you can make, whether it's selling a product. So you're literally making money in your sleep, in the case where he's asleep in Europe and someone's buying his product in America. Typically, when you're working a standard 9 to 5, and this reason why men are kind of quitting the corporate jobs, they can see it as a scam and they want their peace of mind to make money and not be stressing about it and not constantly be in a position where you're transferring your time for money. You're working a day job and you're getting getting paid only for the hour you're working, right? Which is typically how most people work. You've got to separate the time and money relationship. It's quite interesting, and it's important to make sure if you have some kind of side hustle you're working on, try to see if you can move your day job into a part-time role, like a contract work, while you build your side hustle. And if your side hustle works out, in his case, he was selling apps on a app website called Product Hunt. I'm sure some of the tech guys watching this will know Product Hunt. It's a website where you can sell like different tech products you might produce. And this ended up working out for him. And even though he's making a relatively small amount, he's not some like Alex Hormozi type of guy. It really was a good start for him, and it gave him that flexibility to travel and live life on his own terms, which we're going to learn about here.
To Thailand, Vietnam, and Bali. That's when I learned what truly matters to me. It wasn't the job title or the size of my paycheck. It was the freedom to explore, to experience new cultures, and to have the flexibility to work from anywhere. 3 months in Asia were kind of eye-opening to me. People were living a fulfilled life with so much less than what we consider essential back in Germany. So back home, still working part-time, and now already for more than 2 years, I realized that I got comfy in my new role. The safety net I had from my part-time job pulled me back from doing meaningful work. And don't get me wrong, this is a great place to be at. But it also stopped me from growing my businesses and working on something that matters to me. And most importantly, it also stopped me from focusing on my end goal, regaining my time. Making the final decision to quit wasn't easy, but I knew I had to do it, otherwise I will regret it for basically the rest of my life.
So it's very interesting here, right? So the first thing you do once you realize as a man that you want to quit the corporate job is you find your peace of mind. Some of that's through moving through life at a slower pace. I really think the pace of life that people are encouraged to live in the West when it comes to their jobs is way too fast. You understand that traveling, living life at a slow pace is worth way more than a steady paycheck and a job title that really isn't paying off well too much right now. Humans are really driven by freedom. We're not driven by social status. No matter how much the system tells you, oh, you need to be motivated by social status, get the car, get the house, get the job title. Humans really aren't motivated by that. And now you see the social fracturing going on. People don't really care about how other people perceive them. That's why you see people dressed in sweatpants and and hoodies and whatever, wearing socks and sandals or whatever, going to the grocery store, because people don't care about how other people perceive them. People aren't dressing up. People don't care if someone cares about their job title or not. People care about their freedom now. People don't really care about social status. So this corporate world trying to brainwash men to care about their job title and their social status, it's just not working anymore. It's not an effective way to keep people motivated to work in a corporate environment where they'd rather drop out. And also the kind of paychecks that they're paying and the job stability just doesn't exist. So you're not going to have men committed to this type of work. Another important point here is deciding to go all in. So there's so much debate of when should you just go all in on your side hustle and quit your job, when your side hustle is making a lot of money, enough money for you to retire early and be in financial independence, or when your side hustle is making the same as your day job, when your side hustle is making double of your day job. When would you make the shift? That's the real important, interesting question. So let me know in the comments, at what income level or savings or investment level do you think it's appropriate to quit your job and never work again and maybe focus on a side hustle or living a minimalist lifestyle? People have different numbers. Some people say it's 500k in investment. Some people say it's having a side hustle that is, like I say, having double your salary, things like that. So it's quite interesting to consider different perspectives. So let's check out the last little clip on him and how it works out for him in terms of quitting his day job.
And the older I get, the more responsibilities I have, and to make the final decision will just get harder and harder. So I just took the jump, quit. I still managed to cover 80% of my expenses with my projects, but there's no denying it is tough. There are nights when I'm up late trying to implement a new feature, or even worse, trying to fix a bug that just doesn't want to go away. There are also mornings when I wake up and receive an email from a frustrated customer, or worse, getting a 1-star review. This can feel like a punch to the gut, but at the end, this is part of the game, running your own business. These angry 1-star reviews and frustrated customers are basically feedback on your product and how you can improve them. But not all days are like that. Most days are great. I can work on projects I love. My schedule is mine to control, and I can work from anywhere I want. More importantly, I can work most of the times whenever I want. As I told you, it's not been perfect. There are challenges, uncertainties, and fear. But every morning I wake up excited about what I'm building and the potential of the days ahead. The freedom of my time is, at least to me, worth way more than any status or paycheck could ever provide. It's not easy and it's not without risk, but it is possible. Take it from someone who is now on the other side. Your dreams are valid and your desire for more is something not to be ignored.
So that's a very interesting point there, right? In terms of the income level, he said 80% of his side income his side income was covering 80% of his living cost, roughly, right? And that's interesting where you want to make that transition, because what if his side income suddenly drops? Does he have savings and emergency fund to live? And this instability and uncertainty, fear, uncertainty, doubt, FUD, you've probably heard of that in finance. It really makes you think about whether you should quit your job because you want some peace of mind, or you want to focus on your side hustle. And particularly now, when you have all these instances of job losses and things like that, with jobs offering less stability than ever, it might make sense for many people to focus on their dreams and goals and just chase them and accept the same risk level. Because the risk level of having a job now and doing your side hustle is kind of the same now, right? And you should think about how much worth you can add to your life through the flexibility of living life on your own terms and controlling your own schedule. And the key phrase here is time freedom. Lots of people are looking for their time freedom. They're not looking for working in a corporate job and not having time freedom, but just having a bit of social status and a regular paycheck that they could be laid off at any moment. So if you're thinking about these type of questions, should you quit the corporate job? Do you feel uncomfortable as a man in the corporate environment with cancel culture and everything like that? You're looking for peace of mind. I myself work as a career coach, and I help accelerate people who are looking to work in corporate roles, looking to escape the corporate world, by giving them decent solutions and a plan that they can work in and focus on to reach their goals of freedom, time freedom, financial freedom, and things like that. There's a link in description if you want to speak with me directly. I'd be eager to speak with you and help you out. Let me know in the comments how you feel about quitting your job. Is it something that's on your mind? And there are 2 recommended videos on your screen right now. I'll see you next time.